welcome to the 10th Annual Junior Achievement Dubois County Business Hall of Fame. Thank you to our title sponsor, Denton's Dubois.
My name is Brian Longy, and I'm president of Best Home Furnishings, one of the top manufacturers of upholstered furniture in the United States. My father founded Best Home Furnishings in 1962, and Denton's has been a very important part of the success of Best Home Furnishings, not only with my father over the years, my siblings, and now the third generation. What we're known for is the extensive choice of style and fabric to help us compete with other manufacturers. We average pretty much anywhere in the U.S. approximately 15 to 20 days.
We have developed a strong synergistic relationship with the Longy family and Best Home Furnishings over decades, which includes liability management, strategic development, and creative development. Our commitment to the furniture manufacturing sector is evident. One of our key differentiators is our ability to work worldwide on transactions while at the same time maintaining a personal touch with our clients. One of our core strengths is the fact that we maintain offices in 85 countries throughout the world, which means that we have the opportunity to represent and assist Best Home Furnishings anywhere they may be with respect to their businesses without them having to hire multiple firms in order to complete their business operations. We, like Best Chairs, are focusing on our communities in which we work. Our community is their community, Dubois County.
In this competitive world we live in today, we use Bill Kaiser and the Denton team substantially throughout our business, whether that be employee or whether that be acquisitions, signing contracts, family planning. There's not really almost a day that goes by that we don't use Denton's and Bill with some of the issues that we have in today's business. We are proud of our over 700 dedicated employees in southern Indiana, primarily here in Dubois County. Denton's is an important local partner that we feel comfortable to communicate with on a regular basis.
We took the time to meet with Brian and his team to identify their goals, obstacles, and opportunities. Our role was to connect them with the right financing partners and assist them in executing their strategic plans. As their business has grown and adapted over the years, we've followed suit, expanding our capabilities to meet their needs. Whether it's a property dispute, such as a boundary issue or a legal challenge connected to product designs, we have extensive experience to help guide our clients toward effective resolutions. Ultimately, our focus is to achieve outcomes that allow Best Home Furnishings to grow, protect, operate, and finance their business without any lingering conflicts with opposing parties. Denton's joins with Junior Achievement in congratulating the honorees, Sue Elserman and the late Herb Tin. We recognize their innovative thinking, leadership, and commitment to community, something we should all be proud of.
Please welcome your Master of Ceremonies, retired General Manager of WITS FM, WQKZ FM, and Radio 1, Gene Coombs.
As soon as I find a switch, we'll start. Okay, good morning. Everybody enjoy your breakfast? Good, all right, appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our Junior Achievement Dubois County Business Hall of Fame breakfast this morning. I'm thrilled to be your Master of Ceremonies. Because of help and support of generous partners like you, Junior Achievement brings relevance, authenticity, and application into everyday learning to energize students about their future possibilities. For all of you who lead this transformation, we thank you and are immensely grateful. Today, we're privileged to be celebrating our 10th year of inducting laureates into the Junior Achievement Hall of Fame. Before we honor today's laureates, let's take a walk down memory lane and remember the many laureates that we have honored throughout the past years.
Junior Achievement of Dubois County celebrates 10 years of honoring exceptional individuals. Over the past decade, we've recognized 20 remarkable laureates, beginning with the inaugural honorees, Bob Ruckriegel and Arnold Habig in 2015, Bob Ruckrigal began as a meat cutter and rose to become the chairman of service. Since opening his first Jerry's restaurant in 1964, he's turned his company into one of the largest in the United States. Arnold Habig, the visionary behind Kimball International, started as a newspaper delivery boy and led the company to billion-dollar success. He implemented employee programs benefiting over 350 children and has donated over $12 million to charitable causes. Alvin Ruxer, an automotive innovator, founded Jasper Engine and Transmission and Jasper State Bank. He emphasizes giving back through philanthropy while known for his lightheartedness. Clem M. Longy, chairman of Best Chairs Inc., revolutionized furniture manufacturing by introducing computerized processes, increasing efficiency, and product offerings. Hank Menke transformed his family's furniture business into OFS, generating over 1,700 jobs while maintaining high standards of innovation and quality. Gervis Schwenk, a World War II veteran, rose from bookkeeper to general manager at Jasper Engines, earning the President's Community Excellence Award in 2009, showcasing his commitment to our community. Mark Schrader dedicated 50 years to German American Bancorp, modernizing the bank through strategic mergers to become a regional leader. Stanley Kremp pioneered kitchen cabinetry, founding United Cabinet Corporation, and becoming instrumental in establishing industry standards that remain influential today. Bob Menke Sr. led his family's company through significant growth and rebranding as Styline, earning him accolades like the Sagamore of the Wabash Award. Doug Bobble began as a sales trainee in 1976 and rose to president after buying the company in 1987. He expanded Jasper's NASCAR involvement and led it to become 100% employee-owned in 2010, shaping its success in the automotive industry. Gilbert Gibb Verkamp elevated cabinet manufacturing at Aristocraft, leading sales to unprecedented heights and supporting thousands of employees through strategic acquisitions. Jerry Sager transformed his family's farming roots into a thriving food processing venture, employing thousands and partnering with local farms. Brenda Stallings has been a tech leader as CEO of Matrix Integration for 42 years, recognized for her innovation while empowering local communities. Mike Braun, U.S. Senator and entrepreneur, grew Meyer Body Company into Meyer Distributing, all while advocating for health and education. As a devoted businessman, Rafel Ackerman built Ackerman Oil Company into a multi-generational success story. Butch Clem founded UB Clem Furniture Company at 22, achieving national recognition and earning the Indiana Entrepreneur of the Year Award for manufacturing. Bob Siebert left a legacy through Siebert's, operated by his family for 3 generations, and was a community service champion, inspiring youth through junior achievement. Which brings us to today, where we get to celebrate Sue Elsperman, president of Ivy Tech Community College, and H.E. Herb Tin, co-founder of Kimball International. Thank you for joining us as we honor these extraordinary individuals whose legacies inspire us all in Dubois County and beyond.
We're so grateful to be here with you today to honor our laureates, H.E. Herb Tin and Dr. Sue Elsperman. They're both amazing leaders in our region who have shared their passion and success with our community. 2 remarkable leaders who join a distinguished group of innovators who exemplify Junior Achievement's vision that our young people have skill set and mindset to live choice-filled lives and build thriving communities. To its core, Junior Achievement believes in the boundless possibility of our region's young people and knows that you all are here doing the same thing. Through their proven programs delivered by caring business and community volunteers just like you, Junior Achievement is helping the next generation find their purpose and belief in themselves. What you may not know is that JA programs are uniquely embedded during the school day inside the classroom, thereby eliminating barriers to participation. JA students gain the skill set and mindset to be financially capable, entrepreneurially minded, and career and post-secondary ready so that they too can become the leaders and even the laureates of tomorrow. Over the course of our celebration, I invite you to celebrate what your attendance today means for the young people of Dubois County and what Junior Achievement means for our regional economy and its next generation of leaders. Please welcome Matt Wire, Junior Achievement Dubois County Business Hall of Fame Chair. Matt.
Thank you, Gene. And good morning, and thanks all for coming. On behalf of the Dubois County Business Hall of Fame Committee, I'd like to welcome you to the 10th Annual Hall of Fame Breakfast. We've been honored to induct so many individuals who've impacted our community in so many different ways. As attendee of this event in years past, each year I came away from the event impacted by each and every laureate's unique story. As their story is beautifully told, we witness a lot of the same themes of courage, hard work, perseverance, and facing countless challenges before realizing success. The success of these past laureates is not simply defined by the business excellence, but it's also exemplified through their gifts of their time and talents, which they've generously given to help our community flourish. I'd like to take a moment to thank the team of individuals that made today possible. If you are a member of the JA Business Hall of Fame Committee, JA Dubois County Advisory Board, Junior Achievement staff, a classroom volunteer for JA, or an educator who has hosted JA in your classroom, would you please stand? Thank you to all of you who have helped this program flourish. We appreciate the hard work and dedication to make today so special for our laureates, their families, the scholarship recipients, and this community. Special thanks also to our generous sponsors, including our title sponsor, Denton's Bingham Greenbaum, along with our diamond sponsors, German American Bank and Old National Bank. Thank you as well to Brescher Filming and Photography for producing the inspiring vignettes that you will see today. And finally, thank you to all of our event partners that have made today's presentation possible. At this time, please welcome Sister Catherine Huber, past prioress of the Sisters of St. Benedict, to lead our invocation.
O loving God, we gather today to celebrate the leadership and achievement of Sue Elsperman and Herb Ten, both leaders recognized for their dedication and service. We thank you for the gifts you have bestowed upon them, the vision to inspire, the strength to persevere, and the compassion to serve others. We thank you for the gifts of their wisdom and how they have used their talents to bring about positive change to the world through their leadership in business, in politics, and in education. May this award be a reminder of the positive impact both Herb and Sue have made, and may it serve as a beacon for Sue as she continues leading with integrity and humility. We ask your continuing blessing on junior achievement and in their work with the youth of our county. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. Let the whole church say, Amen.
Thank you, Sister Catherine. Please enjoy a brief introductory video now of Junior Achievement.
We envision a world where young people have the skill set and mindset to build thriving communities. It starts with one change maker. It can be a volunteer, an educator, or a supporter. This change maker inspires and prepares students to succeed through learning experiences that focus on 3 sets of critical life skills not always taught in school. These learning experiences help students connect what they learn in school to life outside the classroom. This impacts the many students we reach today and the countless lives they will influence tomorrow. We do this by bringing a different approach to education that uses innovation and contextual learning in partnership with educators, employers, and the community at large. In the end, our promise is to provide learning experiences that help young people reach their potential. In other words, our name is our promise.
Now, please join me in welcoming Junior Achievement of Southwestern Indiana President Marcia Forston.
Good morning, everyone. I'm so delighted to see all of you today on this beautiful day to celebrate these amazing laureates that we get to do every year. And thank you, Jean, for your continued service in honoring these leaders. We really appreciate your service here. Junior Achievement and the Laureate Selection Committee are privileged and honored to be able to recognize, as you saw in the inspiring tribute, the amazing leaders who have shaped this region, this county, this world for generations. It is so inspiring to get to hear each day. This is a history lesson, right, guys? It's a history lesson on the amazing work that these folks have done. And because of you, this is an extra special year. I don't know if you know this or not, but we are celebrating 50 years of junior achievement in Dubois County. 50 years. That's nearly 3 generations. Think about that. Think about the impact you have had. You heard that our programs are uniquely embedded in the school day, which means you are reaching these kids and helping them learn what it means to be a good citizen, a contributor to the community. Your heart for servant leadership in Dubois County is unsurmountable. It is immeasurable. Dr. Tracy Lorai, Superintendent of Greater Jasper Schools, is very passionate about junior achievement, and one of the things that she loves about it, in addition to the skills and competencies they learn, it's what you guys do when you come into the classroom. You help with character building. Isn't that fascinating? She wants that started as soon as she can get it going. Now, we've been, for those of you who like data, since we've been maintaining data in this particular database since 2008, you have had 2,225 classes, served 49,732 students with 340,479 hours that you have spent with students. Think of the impact that makes. 50 years of JA and 10 years of honoring the amazing people that serve this region. It really does start with one change maker, one person who makes that difference, one volunteer, one supporter, one educator that comes and changes the trajectory for students for generations to come. Today, we are so privileged to induct Dr. Sue Ellspermann and Herb Ten, 2 remarkable innovators and change makers, into the JA Dubois County Business Hall of Fame. And now it is my honor, before we get started, to introduce 3 outstanding members of the next generation of leaders. You may recognize them from this morning. They were your greeters. And I'd like to introduce them. First, we have Ella Hope. Ella is a senior at Forest Park and is our first place winner of this year's scholarship. Next, we have Leo Wiedoff. Leo is a senior also at Forest Park and our second place scholarship winner. And our third place is Bella Beckman, a senior at Northeast Dubois High School. The scholarship is very competitive, and these 3 remarkable young people are the winners of the scholarship that you have funded since 2015 in conjunction with this Business Hall of Fame. So let's congratulate our recipients one more time. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Ella, who's going to share a few words with you about her experience with Junior Achievement and the difference that you made in her life.
Good morning, everyone. It is a pleasure to be here with you this morning. In my experience with Junior Achievement, the most valuable lesson I learned was consumer protection. In our ever-changing society, it is important to be aware of potential schemes that can negatively impact one's life. It seems like every week I hear about various scams, from someone being told they have an unpaid ticket that must be paid immediately, to being billed for something you know you didn't purchase. It's safe to say that there are many people out there with malicious intentions. Through Junior Achievement, I was able to gain an understanding of issues like cybersecurity, identity theft, and credit card fraud. Within this, one of the most important things I learned, especially as an incoming college freshman, regards sharing financial decisions. In college, I will likely have a roommate in my apartment, so I must try my best to find out if they are a responsible person to live with. Through the Junior Achievement program, I learned how to identify potential financial red flags when choosing a roommate. College is incredibly expensive as it is, so I can't afford to worry about getting stuck paying more than my share for housing and other items. I feel confident that I will be able to make smart decisions when it comes to this because of the Junior Achievement program. I also have a much better understanding of the importance of regularly checking my bank account and keeping tabs on my credit report. The potential risk of identity theft or fraudulent purchases is huge, but by identifying potential risks and fraud right when they happen, I can shield myself from getting into sticky situations. I can utilize this knowledge throughout my adult life, as it will always be relevant to me. As a whole, the Junior Achievement Program has been incredibly helpful to me in preparing for my future. Specifically, the Consumer Protection Unit truly opened my eyes to potential risks and the measures I must take to prevent them. My volunteer provided many examples that made these topics easy to understand, while also emphasizing that it was important to know this information. As a young person, I believe that Junior Achievement is beneficial because it teaches students the necessary skills to succeed financially as they enter their adult lives. Thank you.
Okay, wow, I'm not sure we knew we were going to get a really great lesson in financial literacy this morning, so thank you so much, Ella. That was absolutely amazing. And congratulations to all of our recipients and your families. Just really proud of you. I know that we've got one that's going to Notre Dame, that's Ella. Bella, you're going to Purdue. And then Leo, you're going into aviation, right? Okay, so the future is bright, folks. So congratulations to all of you. Let's give them another round of applause. Okay, let's get this party started. It's now my pleasure to introduce to you Christian Bloom, a stranger to no one here, president of the Being for Others Health and Wellness Foundation and the moderator of the J. Dubois County Business Hall of Fame Selection Committee. Please welcome Christian.
Good morning, friends. Thank you all for being here today to celebrate two remarkable leaders in our community. I'm honored to moderate the selection committee leading to the induction of two new members into this esteemed group of laureates. The Laureate Selection Committee goes through a rigorous process that is thoughtful, inspiring, and actually begins with all of you today, our community who submits nominations. And again, this year, we have nomination request cards on your table. Please help us identify those individuals who may meet our laureate criteria. We invite you to submit a name for consideration by completing the card on the table or scanning the QR code. Completed cards can be left on the table for collection at today's event. The names that are submitted are not necessarily a nomination, but they'll serve as a recommendation that we will be reaching out to learn more on. So thank you in advance for your help. Full nominations are then submitted to our Laureate Selection Committee. The selection committee is comprised of nearly 25 past laureates and community leaders that then review the nominations and engage in a robust discussion. Today, we celebrate the 2025 Junior Achievement Dubois County Business Hall of Fame laureates, Historical Laureate Herb Tinn, and Active Laureate Sue Elsperman. Their courageous thinking, bold actions, generous spirit serve as an inspiration for us all and as a model for generations of future leaders. They also uphold the noble tradition of excellence established by our previous laureates. Several laureates are with us today, and I'd like to ask them to please stand so that we may recognize you and express our appreciation for all you have done for our region through your visionary work and generous philanthropy. Our 2025 laureates firmly uphold the tradition of excellence established by the laureates before them, and I'm honored to play a role in recognizing these individuals this morning. Like their fellow laureates before them, they are committed to making our region the absolute best it can be, not just for today, but for generations to come. It's my distinct privilege to begin our celebration with the induction of the 2025 Historical Laureate Herb Tinn. To set the stage, please enjoy this brief vignette that captures the essence of this generous visionary.
Well, Dad was, I guess I'd call a self-made plywood engineer. I think he learned a lot about it when he worked at Jasper Wood Products, and they developed with Ford Motor Company. He was involved with a engineer out of Ironmont, Michigan, Tel Bailey, and they designed the wood exterior parts for the Ford Woody station wagon, which that was a famous vehicle for years. And so all of those parts he designed, and they were produced at the Jasper Wood Products plant here in Jasper, and then they shipped them to Michigan.
I think my dad was successful because he was a lifelong student. He taught himself. He was required to leave high school at age 16. And so he learned how to be adaptable and flexible. He became a good problem definer and problem solver. And I think he kept his focus. He had good discipline. And I think a lot of good things happened in America at the time that he entered business.
His leadership style, I think, well, with us, it was, excellence and do the job right. But I think he was a servant leader. I mean, he would never ask employees to do anything that he wouldn't do himself. But he also expected, I think, everybody to give a good, honest day's work and do their best.
When World War II started, Jasper Wood Products became a defense plant. And he was part of the team that designed these wooden gliders that were used in the Battle of the Bulge. A lot of the parts were made at Jasper Wood Products. They shipped them like unassembled to England, and then they put them together there, and they would be 10 or 12 troops would be in this wood box with wings, and they would tow it behind an airplane or a bomber, and they towed them across the English Channel, and then they cut them loose, and they glided them down and tried to land them. Many of them, of course, crashed, and they ran into trees and things, but yeah, a lot of that was built here in Jasper, also those parts.
So then after the war, that's, when he started Stonmasters, they did a lot of molded plywood. In fact, they had, with Kitchen Compact, they made kitchen drawers that had no corners in them, so you could clean out the dirt. And of course, they had molded plywood skis. After the war, they made all the paneling for the Woody station wagons.
What sorts of things did I learn from him through the years? I'd say respect for people, work hard, play hard. He loved, Mom and he were a great partnership, and getting together and having family get-togethers. And it wasn't always just the immediate family, the sons and daughters and the kids. It was aunts, uncles, everybody. I learned you needed to have a release from the day-to-day business. So when he would come home and we'd go out to the farm, he loved his ponies. We would go out to the farm and work hard, get that stress out that way, and then be able to, leave it behind you.
Well, certainly he's proud of the fact that he helped co-found a company that was a local company that grew into an international footprint and was globally competitive on all the continents. But I think he would look at his family as the thing that he'd be most proud of. He believed that the ultimate measure of wealth was a successful family. And we have 6 children in our family. All are solid citizens. Our grandchildren are all solid citizens. We're all happily married. He was very proud of his lifelong marriage to my mother, Maxine.
Yeah, he called us, well, it was myself and Jim and Carol and John. There was 4, at that time there was 4 children when he originated. And so he called a meeting in the dining room at the house, and everybody's together, and we're like, oh, what's this about? And so he told us that he decided he quit his job at the Jasper Wood Products. He borrowed as much money as he possibly could, and he was investing in the Jasper Carp, and he was going to start his own company, and things are going to be tight for several years, and so don't expect any allowances, or if you needed spending money, you're going to have to mow some lawns or wash some cars. And because it was tight, he basically, I think, borrowed everything he could. It's the same, I'm sure Arnold did the same thing until a couple of years, and then the business started to get a little better.
He would be extremely supportive of junior achievement and the lessons that junior achievement teaches. He would advise them to focus on their academics, particularly the basics, reading, develop good reading skills, good writing skills, math, and good speaking skills. I think he would tell them to put down their device, the mechanical device, more often than not, and engage with people, build relationships. Well, it wasn't funny at the time, but it was funny to me later. As a young lad, Dad had pigeons. He showed pigeons. He would put the best ones in the back pen, and he'd put the worst birds that he wanted to get rid of in the front pen. It was our task to butcher those pigeons and clean them, put them in the freezer, and it was food for the family. But this one week, he left, and we went out and killed all the birds in the front pen. And that night he called home and he asked Mom, the boys didn't go out there and kill the pigeons and butcher the pigeons, did he? They waited till, and Mom said, no, they're all done, dressed, cleaned in the freezer. There was this long pause on the telephone of silence and then just a click. And we found out when he came home that we killed all of his best birds, wiped him out of the pigeon business. So then he adapted, and that's how we began in Shetland ponies.
He believed strongly in giving back. I know he loved the community very much. One time I asked him in high school, Dad, if you could live anywhere else in the world, where would it be? And he immediately came back with, I would live nowhere else. This is where I would live. And so I think he just loved the community, loved his outdoor activities, loved raising the ponies, being with the family, and just put it all together.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jim Tin, who will be accepting this award on behalf of their family.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful morning. It's an honor to accept this award on behalf of my father, Herb Tin. Dad was a man whose legacy of leadership, innovation, and generosity continues to inspire generations. My brother John once jokingly described our parents as being about 6 Ps. For Dad, life was about pigeons, ponies, and principles. For Mom, life was about the piano, people, and parties. They put it together quite well and had a successful family of 6 children. 5 of us are here today, proudly representing Dad and Mother. I'm 4th in the family order, and my wife Pat, my daughter Selena, and Kurt von der Heide, and grandson Evan and Shaylin von der Heide also joined us. Ron is the oldest of our siblings, and he's joined by his son Chris and Dana. John and Marilyn could not join us today. My sister Carol Haas is accompanied by her daughters Lisa and Laura, and my younger sister Sue and Tom Gates, and my younger brother Mike and Janet also made the journey to be with us today. This recognition by Junior Achievement is especially meaningful because Dad believed deeply in the power of young people to shape our future. He understood that success was not simply measured in financial gain, but in the opportunities we create for others, the lessons we pass down, the doors we open, and the encouragement we give those willing to work hard and dream big. Dad's own journey began in St. Henry, Indiana. He moved to Jasper at an early age, where he overcame personal loss, built a life rooted in perseverance, faith, and an unrelenting pursuit of excellence. His leadership resulted in helping to transform a small local company into a global public enterprise. But all of his accomplishments in business, his greatest pride was in his family, the community, and the young minds that he helped cultivate along the way. He believed success of the family was a true measure of wealth. He was a champion of education and personal development, recognizing the greatest investment we can make is in the next generation. He would be very proud to share this recognition with Sue Elsperman, a woman emulating similar personal character values, personal beliefs, and aspirations. So congratulations, Sue, and Jim as well for this deserved honor. Dad knew that the future belongs to those who prepare for it. And to the young people here today, my father would say this: whether you aspire to be a business leader, innovator, or public servant, remember that success is built on integrity, hard work, and a willingness to learn. Dad never stopped learning, he never stopped innovating, and he never stopped believing in what was possible. His legacy is a reminder that greatness is not a matter of luck, it's a choice, it's a habit, and a lifelong commitment to excellence. He often told me, work hard and create your own good luck. And if Dad could leave you with one piece of advice, it would be this: never settle for good enough. Push yourself to be better than you were yesterday. Learn from every experience, and when challenges arise, meet them with determination. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, and always, always seek to lift others up as you climb. On behalf of my father and the Herb Tin family, thank you to Junior Achievement for this incredible honor. Keep doing what you're doing. It's very important to the community. Dad and Mother would be deeply humbled to receive this recognition, but I have no doubt he would see it not as a reflection of his own success, but as a challenge to all of us to continue lifting up the next generation of leaders. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim, and congratulations to your family. It is my distinct privilege to induct the 2025 Active Laureate, Dr. Sue Elsperman. Please enjoy this brief vignette that captures the essence of this inspiring entrepreneur.
my childhood, I grew up in Ferdinand. My dad had the jewelry store on Main Street, Ferdinand. Having a family business, getting to do what I don't think many young girls get to do, which is to work alongside my dad. He would say, everybody's important. It doesn't matter if it's the farmer coming in for a new band on their watch or if it's somebody buying their engagement ring. Everybody's important. It was just the way you treated people. So customer service was number one, and the business principles I learned from him were really the ones that have formed me throughout my whole life.
What attributes do I think Sue possesses? You know, she's passionate, she's driven, she is adaptable. I think that has served her well, always willing to take on change. But I think the real thing contributes to Sue's success would be her strong vision. She has the ability to be forward-thinking. She has the ability to put a roadmap together for that vision. She then not only has the roadmap, but she then gets her team members to understand that roadmap, to buy into that vision, and then she motivates them, inspires them to achieve and execute on those goals.
The things that impressed me most about what Sue has done and what she's achieved is probably that she's been in a lot of different areas. She really understands, because she understands people and she understands leadership. So I think her ability, I say she can't hold down a job. She bounces from one thing to another, but that's her strength, is that she has a true understanding about leadership and the world around her, and she's always willing to, to dive in and do whatever it takes to make something happen. One of the phrases she uses with me often, that sometimes I bristle at, is, she says, "Get involved. If you feel strongly about something, then don't complain about it unless you're willing to get involved yourself." And that's who Sue is.
Well, my early career was as an industrial engineer with Frito-Lay. It opened the door for my work in creative problem solving, which at age 26 then led me to having my own consultancy back here in Indiana. We lived in Evansville at the time. That, as a 26-year-old, starting your own business was a novel thought. Wasn't sure how to do that exactly, except I had that model from my dad and our jewelry store. As I built that business in Indiana, I was so privileged that one of my early clients was Kimball International. For the next 15 years, I would train hundreds of people in creative problem solving and get to come alongside such great leaders like the Tins, like the Hobbigs, and so many Dubois Countyans that I got to help build their skills, but then watch their success and watch a company grow. I will forever be thankful for that.
I think it's very rare that you have an individual that actually knows how to have the balance between process and people. Sue's background is engineer. Obviously, she's very process driven, but she's really developed some fantastic people skills. And to be able to marry those two things together, I think is her secret sauce in her business philosophy that she has applied throughout all of her leadership roles.
So if we're not talking about business and we just talk about a funny story, I've had an opportunity to travel alongside her as she's had different jobs or in her consulting business. And one time we found ourselves in Bristol, England. And so one night in Bristol, we found this spot, and along the way I found this bridge with this beautiful river underneath it. So when the day ended and it was time to go out for dinner, she said, "Jim, I think it's raining out there." And Sue abhors rain, even if it's a mist. So I said, "I just want to show you this place." I said, "It's not going to rain." So we went out, and it rained one time. We jumped underneath some awnings, and then it rained again, and she said, "Let's go back." I said, no, I want to show you this place." We got out in the middle of this bridge, and it poured down rain. Now immediately I'm looking around, and I see this English red phone booth that I thought, hey, we'll dive in here. We're in this red phone booth, and I think it's kind of romantic. We had just met not too long ago, and she is just furious. She is fuming. So what I found out What I've learned from that experience is never take Sue out in the rain, and the value of Belgian chocolates.
The advice I would give to junior achievement students is always say yes. We all have to do our main job. When you get in the world of work, you need to do your job. However, always be looking for how you can make a difference in another area or opportunity. When someone, your boss or a colleague or someone says, hey, would you help me with this project? Say yes to those opportunities that they don't have to do, but if they do them, it may open a door that they would have never explored otherwise.
Sue has had a lifetime of success, starting from being a great employee to many large companies like Kimball, Frito-Lay, moving on to her own company where she was hugely successful, moving on to politics and in the political world and rising to the highest ranks there. And then going on to being the president of Ivy Tech and leading that organization for higher education for the state. Sue, I would like to congratulate you on being named as one of the 2025 laureates for the Junior Achievement Business Hall of Fame. I can't think of anyone any more deserving from a personal and from a professional standpoint. I'm so happy for you. You have done so much for not only myself, but all the people that you touch over the course of your career. You have been very impactful to many, many people. I know you are a very humble individual. There's a lot of humility there, but I hope you're proud of what you've accomplished over the years because you have touched a lot of different people in a very positive way. Would also like to add my congratulations to the Tin family as well on their selection as the laureate. Congratulations to you, well deserved.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our friend and active laureate, Sue Ellspermann, president of Ivy Tech Community College.
Well, thank you, everybody. You know how old you are when you watch yourself up on that video for a while. But first, let me thank Matt Wire, the JA Laureate team, Marcia, our students, and thank you for honoring Herb Tin, the Tin family, and me. I can say without a doubt that Herb and the entire Tin family deserve this recognition. This really does feel like a full circle moment, having grown up in Ferdinand, one of 6 kids of Tom and Betty Beglin, attending Ferdinand Consolidated School, which I didn't realize till I was 40 was not a Catholic school, because we went to church in the morning and we wore uniforms, and then Mom showed me my report card and it said Ferdinand Consolidated School on it. As you heard, we had Beglin's Jewelry and Gents Shop on Main Street. The opportunity to work with my dad was really special. Graduating from Forest Park High School, partaking in all the things that a small town provides. You know, riding your bike anywhere, being able to play kick the can in the backyard, doing all the chores that we would have growing up, all part of just growing up in Dubois County. And I think now more than ever, I recognize what a special privileged life that was. In 2 months, I'll be retiring. It's been now more than 50 years since I started my world of work at my dad's store at age 14. I learned as much there, as you can tell from the video, as I did at college. We learned, as you saw, to serve customers, how to keep the books, how to take inventory. My sisters over here, Deb, we remember taking a lot of inventory during the Christmas break, and so much more. We also probably cleaned enough glass to cover the New York skyscraper, possibly, at least. It felt like that in a jewelry store. Dad would have been proud of today, and I'm really here because of him. Like most Germans, he could be tough, but it was tough out of love. He taught us that you don't close until the last customer leaves. He taught us that if you aren't busy, then find something to do. Sometimes that meant cleaning the restrooms in the back. As tough as he was, I felt that I was Daddy's girl.
At the store, we talked a lot about business, and he let me make suggestions on sales and merchandising. When I was a senior in high school, he and Mom went to Germany to visit my brother. I oversaw the store while going to school and helping with younger siblings. He trusted me enough to let me determine a sale of what we were going to put on sale while he was gone. But those who know Roy Hakey at the Ferdinand News, wouldn't let me do anything wrong. So the day I told him I wanted to be an engineer, but my high school counselor looked at me like I was crazy, Dad said, "Go ahead, you should do that." And so I did, and I certainly wasn't going to let him down. When I came home from Purdue at Christmas time and I said, "Dad, I think I want a co-op," well, co-op meant working every other semester while you were in college, and it probably meant going away. He questioned me a bit, but then he agreed. He knew that I was ready to grow up, and he trusted me to live away in Flint, Michigan at age 19. And so that set the mold for my life. Well, why shouldn't I become an engineer? Why shouldn't I start a consulting business at age 26? Why shouldn't I complete a PhD in engineering? Why shouldn't I run for office? Why shouldn't I be lieutenant governor? And why shouldn't I be president of Ivy Tech Community College? My greatest advice to young people is, if you have two choices, take the harder path. And if someone opens a door for you, walk through it. That is often taking on that extra work or projects. And it is that which challenges us to be better and discover other ways to make impact. It was good for me to work outside of Dubois County in my early career. It's a way to see that the grass isn't really greener in Michigan or South Carolina or Texas. As I developed my consultancy, Elsperman Associates in Southern Indiana, I was blessed to be invited to work with Kimball International, particularly Jim and Ron Tin. Jim, you were my mentor before you knew you were a mentor. For more than a decade, I trained at Kimball with creative problem solving. Jim would often attend the workshop at the closing when his schedule allowed, and I loved to listen to his focus, not just on strategy and results, but on culture and his commitment to ensuring Kimball was a great place to work. When I ran for office, years later, I visited with Jim. Thank you for taking time with me, Jim, and for being that role model. And it is no accident that I asked Sister Kathy Huber to say the invocation, because she is one of the strongest role models a woman could ever have. She was prioress of the Sisters of St. Benedict when I began to engage with the community early in my facilitation career. Sister Kathy is one of the best leaders I have ever met. If women could be ordained, Sister Kathy would be a bishop or a cardinal, or you know what, there's a conclave going on, maybe even the Pope. She is both a spiritual leader and a corporate leader. Can you think of any harder job than to lead a community of several hundred women, the finances, spiritual, and interpersonal issues that must go on? She did it extremely well. Sister Kathy has been my spiritual director since I entered the political world. She was the one I reached out to when I was being vetted for lieutenant governor. Sister Kathy, you are my role model as a Christian woman leader. You have a backbone of steel, aligned to doing what is right, no matter how difficult. I have tried to emulate that. Of course, there are many other amazing women leaders among the Sisters of St. Benedict, and I am blessed to call all of them friend. An early supporter when I ran for elected office was Hank Menke. Thank you, Hank, for being and believing in a green candidate who really had no idea what she was going to do as a state representative. Today, I'm privileged to serve on OFS's board and appreciate the great job Hank, his kids, and the OFS leadership are doing to grow the company into a premier national firm and one of Dubois County's finest employers. Just 3 years ago, I was invited to join German American Bank's board. Mark Schrader is a legend in banking, and Neil Doby and the GAB leadership team is continuing to grow and succeed as one of the nation's premier community banks. Thus, I recognize how blessed I have been throughout my career to be mentored and supported by great leaders, many from Dubois County. I want to end, though, for two of my best supporters, my mom, Betty Beglin, and my husband, Jim Mailing. My mom, one of 11 children, was raised in Schnellville as Betty Kempf. She almost died of osteomyelitis as a child and spent the better part of 2 years at Riley's Hospital. She was given the last sacraments, skipped 2 years of school, became a beautician, married Dad. Doctors told her she should never have children, so she had 6. She took up walking in her late 30s and running in her late 40s. At 90, she still walks up to 6 miles a day in her basement, saying a rosary. And all of that as she placed 6 children at the center of her world and raised us with unconditional love and care every day of our lives. Mom, we love you. Jim, you actually owe a lot to Mom. When he asked me out over 20 years ago after we were both divorced, I said no. Catholics don't remarry. It was my mom who said, Susan, do you really think God would never want you to remarry? You owe her. All that grass still needs a lot of mowing, Jim. Many of you know Jim Mailing. He is Mr. Ferdinand, Mr. Forest Park, and Mr. Dubois County. He is the one who always challenges me to keep my priorities right. While I tend to focus on making changes on the state or national level, Jim challenges me to do more in Dubois County. Jim is the best of Dubois County. Yes, he was a great athlete playing at Indiana State. He came back as a high school math teacher and coach, then an assistant principal and principal at Forest Park. He has relationships with thousands of graduates over 30 years. He's come back and he's focused on the future of Ferdinand. Even now, he is nurturing the Framing Ferdinand young professionals and working to support the Woolman House. Jim is also the best human being I know. He is German, which means he is stubborn, but he's not as stubborn as I am. He is smart. Yeah, okay, he's smarter than me. He got into Notre Dame and I didn't. He is an amazing father and grandpa, raising 2 incredible daughters and enjoying their 5 grandkids. He is a great stepfather to my daughters and their 4, soon to be 5 grandchildren. And I cannot imagine another man in the world who would have allowed his wife to pursue her crazy choices like running for office, becoming LG, and then president of Ivy Tech, living 2.5 hours apart, 5 to 6 days a week, attending countless rubber chicken dinners, right? And knocking on thousands of doors, and generally being all in. Jim has gotten to do a few cool things, like trade missions to Japan, Taiwan, South Korea. He did get to helicopter into the Indy 500 when I was LG, and last fall joining the OFS board for a trip to Kenya. So don't feel too sorry for him. That said, Jim is setting some new rules July the 1st. He says that for the last 15 years, I've gotten to make the decisions, and starting July 1, when I retire, he gets to make the decisions. We'll see how that goes. In any case, I love him and do know that no other person would have allowed me this latitude to explore my potential and make a difference. Thank you. I love you, Jim. I'll end with our girls. We have 4 amazing daughters who have brought us 9, soon to be 10, incredible grandchildren. I look forward to finally being the granny. I want to be spending time with them and ensuring they get the love, the education, and experiences that we were so blessed to have. No regrets. God is good, and Jim and I look forward to spending our retirement years focusing on Dubois County, maybe a few other things, and counting our blessings for being raised in God's country. Thank you, J.A., for this wonderful honor.
Thank you, Sue, and congratulations again to both of today's laureates. It's been so great to see everyone today, and what an amazing inspiration packed into just an hour. Thank you to our laureates and their families for their remarkable messages of promise and hope for the future. And thanks to you, Christian Bloom, and the entire Laureate Selection Committee for selecting this incredible class of remarkable leaders. Please join me once again in congratulating our 2025 JA Dubois County Business Hall of Fame laureates and their families. One more time. To be inspired all year long, I invite you to visit the Junior Achievement of Dubois County Business Hall of Fame exhibit at the Dubois County Museum to learn and then again relearn about these inspirational leaders in our community. Each of us has the capacity and opportunity to lead where we currently are. Special thanks once again to our generous sponsors, including the title sponsor, Denton's Bingham Greenbaum, along with diamond sponsors, German American Bank and Old National Bank. Thank you for celebrating these inspirational leaders with us this morning, and congratulations again to our laureates and their families. We look forward to seeing you next year for our 11th induction celebration. Have a great day and go out there and make something happen today, okay? Thank you for being here.